to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Oh, yeah, it's the second hour of the Changing Stage radio show powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in Internet talk radio. My name is Florentino, and I'm here with Mr. Jackie Bertone. You there, Jackie? Oh, he is taking a step back for a second. We'll be right back with him in a few moments, but I'd like to also talk about our great friends over at Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. We are just wanting to let you know, they just want you to play it loud. They have great gear over there. Like I said, we are using cameras now provided by pitbullaudio.com, as well as we are getting we get all gear there here for at the station, as well as all of the people that I know. They have stores in National City, so you can always go down there. But they are one of the top brands online as well. As that's again at Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. And of course, our good friend Jim over at SIR. These guys have been providing gear for touring musicians for quite some time, and they also provide gear for any corporations that are looking at having audio or video, or as well as lighting. So they do corporate lighting packages for events and other things. So, just make sure you take care of your gear needs over there at SIR. And just basically, one of the things I wanted to kind of ask Paul about is, Paul, what do you think, man? NAMM, what are you expecting to see over there?
Well, it's always overwhelming, expecting to see everything. I've been on the hunt for like a small low wattage amp for a while, as you know, and kind of can't decide on what to get. So hoping to see something maybe like an unexpected, something that's not necessarily available in a regular Guitar Center or something.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I think I always get excited about all the gear that's in what they call the unknown room, where you're not getting all the pomp and show from like the top floors. You go down into the bowels of the Anaheim Convention Center, and you see all these, down there. Yeah. See all the unique stuff.
Yeah, you always find unexpected stuff like
Slidewinder was a good one. That was a good one for you.
Slidewinder, stuff like that. Yeah, not necessarily big companies. A lot of companies either just starting out, or a lot of overseas manufacturers that come in with pedals or sometimes really funky ideas. Yeah, like I think when you came back, Slidewinder, folks, is it's basically a guitar slide that allows you to use, for your guitar players, you'll understand this, use just a standard guitar. You don't have to have a guitar that has raised strings. So you can sit there and play your normal Strat and, just really enjoy doing a slide in between. So you can do like a regular solo and a slide. So yeah, it's like a ring with a small bar magnet that kind of, you could still flex your finger around it and play a guitar, almost like you normally would, and then just go in and throw in a slide riff here and there. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And Jackie, you there, sir?
I'm right here, my friend.
Yeah. So we're just talking about NAMM, me and Paul, and you know what? We had such a great interview with Marcelo, right? It's just awesome interview.
Too short. Way too short.
Well, I talked to her off air on the phone, and she's looking forward to some really great things. In fact, I want to take this time to announce that WS Radio is proud to announce Jackie Bertone as a new show host. You'll be having your own show, right, Jackie?
Yes, sir. Jackie's Groove debuting this coming Monday at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on the mighty WS Radio Network and intertalkradio.com. How's that sound?
Yeah, woo. So, In fact, you're going to be having a great guest. Tell us about that. Your guest, Juan Carlos Quintero.
Juan and I have gone back to all the way back to 1992. We were fans of each other's playing, but never had the opportunity to play together. We met one day after a jazz gig in Newport Beach, and as they say, the rest is history. We're up to 6 o'clock in the morning. Kind of like you and me, Tino, how long, we feel like we've known each other for years and we've only met each other for probably the last 30 days.
Yeah, exactly. You and I getting together, that's like a Gilligan tour. You think it's going to be 3 hours, but you're going to be within this island enjoying all kinds of misadventures for days.
Absolutely. And you definitely want to have the listeners tune in because God knows I blanketed the social media, the internet, along with Juan also. Juan is a Colombian guitarist from Medellin. He is, in his own right, he's got, I think, about 7 albums to his own willing. And there's always not known as a smooth jazz artist, but more of a Latin jazz guitarist itself, and has employed the best musicians in the industry, including myself, if I can pat myself on the back. But first and foremost, Juan and I are best friends. And the reason why I opted to choose him with all the plethora of great names that I know in the industry is that I have a rapport with him, and I know that it will be a good way to, quote-unquote, break my cherry in this industry by having a smooth, relaxed conversation. And that's the whole premise of my show, if I can just interlude or interact here, Tino, is basically it's you and me sitting in my backyard having a glass of wine and a cigar, and we're shooting the crap, for the lack of a better word, and bringing the listeners in to the inner workings, the anecdotes that you can't read about in magazines, something that you have to live. And those out there that haven't lived it will make sure that you feel that you've been knee deep into it with us by the time the show is over with.
Exactly, and I think it's a great thing. Having somebody like yourself, your stature, your experience in the business, and the rapport like you had with Marcella just a few moments ago was amazing. There were so many things that you can share together, artists that you've worked with, and I think that is going to be for our listeners a wonderful experience. I'm so blessed to be in the seat where I get a chance to interview exceptional talent like yourself, people who've made history. And, when I hear, you talking about your experiences with Tower of Power or working with people like Juan Carlos, I feel like I'm there. I feel like that I'm part of the history that was being made. And I think that is something that you're going to be able to share with a lot of people that you don't always get, because that velvet rope or the traditional interview you'd read in a magazine has a tendency to be a little bit more formalized and, sometimes
programmed.
Programmed. That's a good word. I was going to say structured, but programmed is probably a bit better word. This show is going to be all about just you talking about the things that are passionate to you, which is music. Like, what's your tagline, sir? Go ahead and throw it out there.
Peace through music.
Exactly.
And the other one is, of course, delivering the groove one smile at a time.
Yes. Well, everything with you, man, is delivered one smile at a time, because you're such a joy to be around and hang out with. And our last interview, just much like Marcella's. In fact, first off, you're a 2-hour show. You're not a 1-hour show. There's no way we could fit one of your show. 2 hours is still not going to be enough, but we're going to go ahead and let people know that they can enjoy your show for 2 hours. And you're going to be having some great guests going. I know that Tracy's got you booked up for days, and it's just names upon names that you've worked with that are coming out in support in droves to want to share their story on your show. So that's going to be amazing.
And Florentino, the cool thing about this, not that these are just my friends, but they are, and you may not know them as a everyday household name, but you do know their employers, their bosses.
Yeah.
And that alone will draw people to the show to hear, like with coming up, we have Tiki Pasillas, or Ricardo Tiki Pasillas, who his bosses are the most relevant to this day. Jennifer Lopez, for spending her last year and last season of American Idol, and then Mark Anthony and Ricky Martin and Arturo Sandoval. I mean, these are just a touch on a few of the acts that my friends work with. Ron Powell coming up on a future show. Ronnie's been with Kenny G for the past 25 years. Madonna, Earth, Wind & Fire, Miami Sound Machine. Am I dropping names? Absolutely. And that's what's going to draw the crowd in to hear these shows. Plus, it's going to be the opportunity for us not to be pulled by management into a bus or onto a plane or onto a signing at the NAMM show. This is a chance for us to sit there and laugh, and when we take a break, to find out exactly what we want to talk about in the next segment, even though it is quote-unquote structured or programmed. But we're not going to stay regimented, at least, to that 4 segments. And if we get to the third segment, but we want to pick up on the first segment, we're going to feel free to do so.
Yeah. People, you're going to be able to get a chance to, like I said, sit down, having a cup of coffee and maybe even smoking a cigar if that's your thing with Jackie Bertone. You'll be part of that. So it's a huge thing. In fact, we had Mike Kimball. I mean, we're going to kind of jump off talking, but Mike Kimball sent in a note to us and wanted to know, what's your thoughts on hip hop, man? Well, in this industry, kind of throw it out there since we're talking about being, whatever's the call at the moment.
You know what? I get it, but I don't get it. I love it when artists like Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg and the powers to be, when they use a live band. Now, that to me is hip. That's bringing the old and the new together under one roof. But when you have a bunch of artists on stage and they're all playing into a record, that's not music to me. But that's just my professional opinion.
Yeah. Well, hey, you've played on some pretty amazing hip hop records too. So we're going to get back to that here in the next few moments. We're going to take a pause for the cause. This is that time where we're going to pay a few bills here. This has been the Changing Stage radio show with Jackie Bertone Takeover. We are going to be talking more about Jackie's illustrious career. We're going to talk about his new show. We're going to talk about hip hop and all the other fun stuff in the next few segments. Thanks, Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com and SIR at SIR-USA.com. You guys rock, and I can't wait for the NAMM show.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
In the military, things can change in an instant. The Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
We are back with the Changing Stage radio show powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio. Yes, my name is Florentino Buenaventura, and I'm ready to rumble. No, I'm just joking. I'm not ready to rumble because I'm with my bro here, Jackie Bertone. Hey, brother.
Blessings, my brother.
Yeah. So we've been talking a bit about your show. We were talking about how you have this amazing rapport with folks like Marcella, and you know what? Let's kind of I want to jump back into a little bit about your history. We made it up to the second segment after for what I would usually call the second segment, which is basically what have you done. I want to talk about in this segment. What are you doing now? What's obviously we mentioned the radio show, but what are some of the other things? Because you're recording like all the time. Every time I'm talking to you or texting you, it's like, I'm in a session. I'll call you right when I get back. So tell us about your what you're doing at this moment.
Currently, I'm brainstorming with my girl bosses, Wilson Phillips. They're gearing up to do a new album. The last two albums were a album. The last one, called Dedication, was a tribute to their parents and to China Phillips, her father, John Phillips, the Mamas and the Papas. Yeah. But the listeners, the fans of Wilson Phillips, have been beckoning for a new album of all original tunes, so they're doing that as we speak. Ongoing situations with Big Mountain. Their biggest claim to fame was "Baby I Love Your Way," their big hit from the Peter Frampton remake.
Yeah.
Doing there, and I'm also working with a young girl. She's her name is Phoebe Peleus. And the cool thing about Phoebe, she is is targeted to be the new voice of Disney, and and that when I got the call to do that, was pretty stoked. Very well the guitar player Sal Spinelli, and he's the one that actually lent his acoustic prowess to the songs, and Nick Seiwert, the drummer from Midnight Satellites, so it was done out of his studio. And I laid the ethereal sounds, the soundscapes to the song to actually bring her voice to light. I received almost a page and a half of an email from her mom, Juliet, and Juliet knows what her daughter's all about, and her future in this industry is going to be crazy. But she had no idea that lending percussion sounds, birds, water sounds, wind sounds, that would actually lend itself to highlight her daughter's already beautiful voice. And that's what I love doing. I love to be the frame around an already gorgeous picture. And, and then jingles and film dates. But not everything that I'm in the studio for is based upon something that's ready for production. It's ideas. I'm hired to do just to do sound effects and ship those to and send them out to different production companies that sell for shakers or bird sound and so on. Whatever it takes to pay that mortgage, I'm here to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been in your studio, a number of times now, and I'm always floored by the history of the instruments that you have there. You pull out a different percussion piece and say, I used it on this track and that track. Tell us about your studio. When a company hires you, what are they getting from your studio?
Well, again, step back from not only company hiring, but when the production or the producer hires me, I'm blessed to be hired worldwide from different production companies. Not to mention that, or not to say that the city or the country that is sending me the studio work, they already have great percussionists in that area. It's not that I'm taking business away or money away from the working percussionists in that area. It's just that the producer is secure with my work. He knows that he's going to not have to sit there and hold my hand through a tune. He knows my playing ability. I know what he's looking for. And that's where it becomes a match made in heaven. Again, I'm 55 years old, so I've been doing this too many years. And as long as God gives me the benefit to keep doing it, I'll continue to do it as much as I can and as long as I can. And with Jackie's Groove and through the blessings of Florentino, it's just another avenue to keep myself relevant, keep myself current.
Yeah.
And to keep my boys in the industry current also. So I'm blessed. You've been again, like you said, numerous times in the studio. Studio is in my home. I've turned one room into a monument, for the lack of a better word. I'm blessed to have been endorsed by LP Music Group, which is the world's largest percussion corporation.
That they are
now owned by DW Drums. And you've seen the thousands of dollars that are surrounded me. That is all given to me for my contract and my endorsement contract with these companies, because they know that I'm going to send and play their instruments to the best of light and to bring it to the public of what I'm using on these recordings and or live gigs.
Yeah. In fact, that's kind of a good point. Jackie, share with the listening audience, especially those artists that are coming up, what do they need to do to prepare to be an endorsed artist from, say, an LP or a Fender or even like some of these other, upstart music companies? Because it's pretty much about the same process.
It is the same process, but the endorsements of today are far from what they were 25 years ago. The budgets have cut most everybody's extension list out of giving free rig away, free instruments for the layman term to the new artist. How I got with LP is that I already had a garage full of their equipment. I wasn't going to LP Music Group for free gear. I was going there for the same respect that I was giving them all these years on stage, and that was the coup. That was what grabbed my endorsement from them, is because they knew I wasn't looking for anything. In the back of my mind, I knew that once I had that endorsement and once my longevity with LP grew, then of course new rig would show up, new gear would show up, and such. And so I tell a lot of young artists, or even artists that aren't young, that do not, most importantly, because we're coming up to NAMM, which is the National Association of Music Merchants here in Anaheim, starting on the 21st of this month to the 24th, which is I look for it like a kid looks for Santa Claus at Christmas. It's just a fun hang. I mean, it's business from 10 to 6, but from 6 on, it's a party.
Yeah, it's welcome pandemonium.
Absolutely. And I tell young artists, I even tell, like I said again, older artists, there's one thing you don't want to do is contact any manufacturer's A&R representative 2 weeks prior to NAMM and definitely 3 weeks after NAMM. And you definitely don't want to talk about endorsements or getting on board during NAMM, because they're not going to talk to you. They're there to get business in from vendors and from music companies. You, as an attendee, are there to see what is out there. What's new in the industry, how it's going to broaden your horizon, how it's going to better your musical background. I go there because I don't want to use the word forced, but when 25 years ago when I first started going, this will be my 26th year, and my first year going not as a percussionist, as a well-known percussionist, but going there to launch Jackie's Groove and the WS Radio Network and the Intertalk Radio, to let them know that this is a new medium. And I'm ready for it. And but the idea about endorsements, the free rig endorsements aren't there anymore unless you are on a major tour.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it benefits the manufacturer to make sure they load up that stage with their rig, because, when you go to see a show, when you go to see Santana or you go to see Tower of Power, you're not going so much to see Carlos Santana or Tower Horns. You're actually going there because you have a favorite musician in that band, a musician that usually is playing the same instrument that you're playing. Yeah.
If you're an artist or a player, that's what you're going to see, what your inspiration is using, how they're doing it. I know, like with Paul, he'll sit there and look at everybody's pedal rig because that's his thing.
And you with bass also, it's like, what is Tino playing? You don't have to be on, the world stage. You can be playing at a local gig. And if you're playing your instrument to your best of your ability, there's somebody out there too that is admiring what you're doing and what you're playing.
Yeah.
Sure. And so it's all a matter, as I said to Marcel in the last show, the word music and business shouldn't share the same sentence, but unfortunately it does. And it's all about how you get your name out there and how you piggyback on the manufacturers and what you can do for each other. And I've told these upstart musicians or musicians that have been around looking for endorsements, just get your name on the roster. That's your first and foremost situation. And definitely through that, you'll be part of the roster and you'll definitely be able to buy the equipment at a much lower rate, well below wholesale. But the fact is, you don't want to bastardize it. You don't want to be give me. You've got to come to them by saying, this is what I can bring to you through your recognition.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. I know that when I first started going to the NAMM show, you'd dress up, you'd kind of do your thing as an aspiring artist, and you'd like to make your statement that you're going to be the next big thing. But you know what? You're going to be up against Shaka Khan and Stevie Wonder and George Clinton, Dave Mustaine, all these incredible players. You're not making a statement. The best way to go to NAMM is to make a discovery. Find out what other people are doing. Find out what the gear that's going to be out there is going to be. And I think that's a good takeaway for us to have. We got about 25 seconds left here before the break. What do you want to share in this particular segment? Like maybe a URL that you'd like them to find and see?
Well, you could definitely check on and sign on to JackieBertone.com. That's BERTONE.com, and JackiesGroove.com, and the WS Radio Network, WSRadio.com, and InterTalkRadio.com.
So we will be right back in a few short minutes with Jackie Bertone, takeover of the Changing Stage Radio Show, powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks and fueled by our good friends over at SIR-USA.com and PitbullAudio.com, where they just want you to play it loud. We'll be right back in a few short minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at ProgressiveMedicalCenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit BizVidCommunications.com to see what we can do for you. bizvidcommunications.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. This is the third segment of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in Internet talk radio, with Jackie Bertone takeover, fueled by our great friends over at pitbullaudio.com, where you can get your gear, and they just want you to play it loud. I know Jackie just got some gear from pitbullaudio.com. Am I not correct, sir?
That's correct, and I want to thank Calvin for hooking that up from us and for us. And loving the Rode microphone, the podcaster. Based upon the word from Florentino, it sounds like I'm right there in the studio, in which we are not. I hate to break that news to the listeners. I'm in my home in French Valley, Winchester area, and Mr. Tino is sitting in his studio in Mira Mesa.
Yeah, you're over there in wine country. I'm over here in Qualcomm country. I'd rather be in wine country.
Hey, and Tino, I want to take a couple minutes to say also to thank you to Brother Paul. For those who will be listening on the 18th, Paul came up with this amazing theme music for Jackie's Groove. And I didn't really even ask him or tell him what I was looking for. They just kind of got the vibe from me, and it's I have to give him props on this, man, because it's for my buddies of mine, Carl Parasso and Pepe Jimenez, Carl, the timbale player, Pepe, the drummer for Santana. Their term was a very retro-sounding Carlos Santana. Nice. And after hearing that, so Paul, kudos, man. Thank you very much for that.
Really appreciate that.
You guys are going to have to tune in to hear what that track sounds like on Monday, though, at 2 p.m., 2 to 4.
And I got to tell you, I am so overly excited about the situation. As I told Florentino earlier, my biggest dream, or I don't want to say dream, but I used to fantasize about being on the radio. I've always liked that idea. When I would sit down in front of my huge stereo system, and I would turn the volume down, and I would cue up. I would lead in with the next artist coming up, and not really knowing what I was doing. And then through that, in my years working with Tower Power, I befriended an amazing disc jockey by the name of Talaya Trigueros. Talaya is mostly known for her work on KTWV 94.7, The Wave in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I met her when she was working the Quiet Storm up in San Francisco, and she's also the voice of the Academy Awards, a lot of stuff you hear on TV. I'm proud to say that she is going to be an upcoming guest. That to me is a little bit nerve-wracking because I've always looked to her. There's an old saying from this new guy in radio myself, is that that person has a quote-unquote face for radio. And that wasn't really a compliment. It was kind of like a backhanded compliment, because most people in radio, forgive me, are not lookers, for the lack of a better word.
I resemble that remark.
I resemble that remark also, but the fact of the matter is, it's that cool thing. So getting a chance to listen to this woman's sultry voice, and the cool thing about this, Tino, is that she's not going to do it from her home. She's actually going to go right before she gets off the air. She's going to go right down at CBS Radio and jump in their studio.
Yeah.
And so she's going to teach me a lot more, and she taught me a lot of things so far. And when I told her I was doing this and I was launching my radio show, her response to me was, "It's about effing time." And and it's that, and I have to thank you. I have to thank the TVMA, Temecula Valley Music Awards, for hooking you and I up together, and Tim Moyer.
Yeah,
and
of course Joanna, who's awesome.
Absolutely, it's all about one thing. You don't have to be living in LA. God knows I had no desire to ever live in LA. Most of the yo-cats in the industry live so far out of the hip areas. It's me being out in the wine country. A lot of my friends are in obscure areas, and through the advent of the internet, the advent of Pro Tools or Logic, and and the like. You don't have to be in the metropolitan area to have a career in this industry.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's an important thing to see. In fact, that kind of touches on some things, man. We've obviously shared so many wonderful stories about you in studio and on the road with different people and some of the stuff we can't really mention because people may not want other people to know about that stuff, but
of course.
There are some great stories that you guys had. One of your good friends is going to be playing in concert at the end of this month, Henry Capono, who is also a big inspiration for me. If you folks aren't aware of Hawaiian music, this man is pretty much the Elvis of Hawaiian music. He's the one who's really kind of inspired that into the what we know in the pop culture. People like Jason Mraz or Train or any of these bands that have done kind of Hawaiian inspired tracks owe it all to Henry, I would say.
Yeah, Henry's group, Henry was the other half of Cecilio Rodriguez, and better known as Cecilio Capono, the first Hawaiian-based group. Cecilio is actually from Santa Barbara, California, and Henry being born and raised in Oahu, in Honolulu area, a pure 100% Hawaiian, which is a dying breed for the lack of a better word. There's that word again. And I met Henry and Cecilio when I was playing with a great jazz group called Hiroshima, depending on how you want to say it. And I was in concert in Honolulu, and after a gig, the tour manager walked up and said, we were trying to cool out after the gig, and he said, Jackie, Cecilio Rodriguez would like to meet you. And I said, Cecilio's from Cecilio and Capono, bring him back. And so he brought him backstage. We talked, and he was giving 100% appreciation for the show. And he'd asked me, he goes, where do you live? And I said, I reside in Orange County. He says, well, we're getting ready to come back on tour itself, and we'd love to have you join us. Of course, it's going to be also the okay from my partner Henry Capono. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I was hired for the group, and then a month after that, went on the Lifetime Party Tour, and as they say, the rest is history. Henry and I have become brothers. In fact, when Henry comes out on tour, he stays here at my house. And a lot of the music that we've done on his last few albums have been inspired through in my studio. And in fact, Henry's album called Henry was the first album that came out of Barkwood Studios, by Percussion, I should say.
Yeah.
And for those who again, Cecilio Capono was the first group out of Hawaii to be signed to a major label, CBS, back in the mid '80s. And Henry, of course, of his notoriety, Henry's probably one of the most humble cats you'll ever meet. He's a writing partner, does a lot of shows with my boss, Michael McDonald, with Kenny Loggins, and with Mick Fleetwood. And the list goes down the line. That's because Henry is just one of those true brothers that is real, and people want to work with him.
Yeah, you told an amazing story about Henry and Hall & Oates. Share that with the audience. I get a kick out of the story.
Yeah, Hall & Oates is back on tour, of course, through the advent and through the popularity of Daryl's House. If you haven't seen that program, definitely check in, where Daryl spotlights luminaries, and then also people they're upstart musicians that are making waves in the industry. Well, they happen to be on tour, and they played at Blaisdell Arena, which is about a 10,000 seat venue in Honolulu. And when they came to town, they approached, because nothing goes through Hall & Oates without getting approved through Daryl Hall. And the question was, hey, there's a local entertainer by the name of Henry Capono. We'd love to have him open the show. He has a huge draw. Now, granted, the fact that the show had already been sold out. Daryl was not feeling it. Daryl had a little touch of the flu, so he wasn't really in the mood to listen to anybody. And then later in the day, he said, Henry Capono, Cecilio Capono? Yeah, he goes, man, we wrote a song for them that made a big hit out of it, a song called Good Night and Good Morning. Yes, definitely have him do the show. So they didn't announce to anybody that Henry was going to open up the show. And, of course, the lights went down, and the voiceover said, opening the show is Hawaii's very own Henry Capono. Henry said, and I saw the video, you can see it online on YouTube, just type in Henry Capono and Hall & Oates. And there was almost like a 4 or 5 second pause, and the audience finally grasped that it was Henry joining him on stage. Henry got up there, he killed it for about a half hour. Then when he walked backstage, Daryl Hall put his arm around him. I showed you the pictures, Tino.
Yeah.
And he said, we want you to come back out on the third song. Henry figured he'd be stuck in the wing singing. They had him dead center in the middle of the stage. And there's some really cool things coming up. A good friend of mine, Joe Thomas, who has a great program called Soundstage. It's on PBS. They just finished signing in the 2016 roster, and Hall & Oates signed up. They were the holdout. They got it, and it looks like Henry Capono is going to join them on this worldwide program called Soundstage. And stay tuned. I'll give you some more information once it comes available to myself.
That is very cool. Yeah, Henry, like I said, I'm Filipino descent, and we have a lot of Hawaiian family within our entire family. And I was raised on Cecilia Capono, Kalapana, all these different groups that are, Society 7, all these incredible groups out of Hawaii, and inspiring that way.
You and I are going to be together with them. We're going to be in Las Vegas next week with me, and I'm taking you to the show as a guest.
Yeah.
It is a sold out show at the Smith Center Friday and Saturday. And unfortunately, we don't have seats, but as true musicians, we don't care. We'll hang out.
Who needs seats, right?
Who needs seats? Absolutely. Just hanging out with the guys. So we'll get a chance to do that and definitely get some Ono grinds for the layman out there. Ono grinds means the best food, and there's a lot of Hawaiian food in Las Vegas.
It's gonna be a good time, and we'll be doing some video capturing of that while we're there. We've got the new cameras that are provided by our good friends over at Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. So we're gonna be able to share with you folks listening all of the goings on, get a little backstage behind the velvet curtain experience, and we want you to come along with us the best way we possibly can by sharing that with you. We've got about 20 seconds left, Jackie. Let's go ahead and give your URLs again for your website and also for the new radio show page that's going to be coming up here shortly.
JackieBertone.com, JackieBertone.com, and Jackie's Groove, JackieSgroove.com, and all powered by the mighty WS Radio Network.
Perfect. So we will be right back in a few short minutes. Thanks again, Pitbull Audio. Calvin, you guys are wonderful, powering both me and Jackie with all the tools and powering future generation. And, of course, SIR-USA.com with Jim and those guys. They provide all the gear when you're on tour, so use them as well. We'll be right back in a few short minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at which.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, which.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
What's up, everybody? This is not Florentino Buenaventura. This is Jackie Bertone, and sitting in on the Changing Stage, brought to you by WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio. And actually, Tino gave me the privilege. How's that? How about the privilege of opening his last segment of his show?
Because I just want to be you, brother.
Don't interrupt me, man. I'm talking right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm just really, really pleased that and honored that I'm launching my own show on the 18th of January. That's this coming Monday on 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Jackie's Groove on WS Radio.
Yeah, I interrupted your intro, man. It was good. I just want to be you, man. That's why I had you.
Stop.
I'm having you do my intro. That way I can live vicariously through. Even though
did I come in on the right time? Did I not step on Paul's solo?
No. Whatever you want to do, man. This is Jackie's world, Jackie's groove. We're good with it, man. No, it's all good.
Please.
No, we're having a great time, and we're blessed, man. We're blessed to have connected. I thank Joanna and Tim for inviting us out to broadcast over at the Temecula Valley Music Awards, which we'll be doing again next year, but probably with you at the helm, as you were winning a lifetime award over there. You're just like, hey, this guy, I got to talk to this guy, and then we knew each other. An honor. Yeah, we knew each other from Facebook, and we're the short-time, lifetime friends, like the Lifetime Rockers, which are good friends of yours as well.
It's I get more compliments from young players and parents saying, I want to thank you very much for going the extra distance and, showing up and sitting in, if it's even playing a tambourine or a shaker with this, to add your name to their roster or itinerary. And I said, you know what? It's not that I'm doing anything that is monumental. I'm just doing what was given back to me when I was starting up. I was, it was paid forward to me by the luminaries of the industry, which I'm proud to announce and proud to say that these luminaries, when I first started out, are actually my brothers now in the business, showing that, of course, if I'm at 55 years old, they're my senior by 10 years. But it's, it's all about music. It's all about that feel. It's all about that groove. It's all about making somebody smile, and I happen to play an instrument, percussion, that is kind of very cool. I'm actually adding different sounds that people are familiar with, but actually can now get a chance to see what I'm playing. And it's, as I told Tino earlier, it's you've got them in your back pocket when you can simultaneously turn that audience into the RCA dog, where they tilt their head and they're just really amazed by the sound they're hearing.
Yeah.
It started out for so many years that as a percussionist, we didn't get that gig, especially if it was on a low budget gig. It was always given up to the saxophone player. And then they finally realized the fact that not every song has sax, but every song has some type of percussion in it. Then all of a sudden, we overtook the industry in the early '90s and realized the fact if you're going to pay $100 for a saxophone player, you can pay $100 and get a percussionist, and to really add that style. No offense to any of my bosses that employ me that are saxophonists, but at the same time too, it's just that element, that new sound. It's that frame around that beautiful picture that gives everybody that vibe that makes you want to get up and dance.
Yeah. Well, some songs, percussion is obviously more felt than really, you hear it, but it's not one of those things that's the instrument that is the highest volume in the track, for lack of a better word. Like you said, if you're doing a saxophone solo or a guitar solo or something like that, that's going to be a featured position within the volume spectrum of the track, or even on stage. But what I do know, and this is something I learned when I was going to school at UCLA in their music business department, Larry Larson was talking about a track that they were doing with Kenny Loggins, and he was amazed how when they pulled Paulino da Costa's, who was one of your mentors, rhythm out, the track became lifeless and dead. But when they brought that rhythm back, that all those wonderful percussions that people predominantly felt but didn't hear, per se, it wasn't like the standout thing. It just brought all the life back into it. And I would say, like, tracks that you've done, whether it be the Kokomos of the world or even going to make you sweats, where to me it is the rhythm that makes all those things. And you played on those tracks, which are amazing to me.
What's really cool also, too, like you said again, about when you pull out the tracks or mute the tracks that have percussion laid down on it. In fact, hopefully through the advent of Paul and all the wizards Wade at WS Radio, I like to be able to do that on maybe an upcoming show where I can actually play a track how it was sent to me and then mute it and then play the track as it ended up with percussion on it. That's a cool situation all the way around. And, the cool thing about the my show, which is going to be kind of cool, like I'm going to use Tino's term, it's the behind the velvet rope. It's going to again, every majority of all the people that are coming up and all I can share with and without who are going to be coming up on the show, people who haven't even signed on yet. But what pays and which gives me a
It looks like we're having a little slight technical difficulty here. We're going to go ahead and connect Jackie back up. Looks like we got a connection back up with that. We are using a remote connection, so just trying to let everybody know that Jackie is going to be part of what we're doing here at WS Radio Networks, and I think we reconnected with Jackie. You there, sir?
Yes. I think we're back. Hello.
Hello.
First big radio faux pas here.
Well, sometimes computers gotta love the computers. We can hear you a little bit, Jackie, but that's okay.
No, dropped again.
So, well, for one, Paul, you're getting a lot of props on this show.
Yeah.
So you're one of your favorite bands, one of the most inspirational bands has been Santana.
Yeah, and I've been
in my cans. Let me just see if I can put it up here.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, man. Sometimes that happens. We have technical difficulties from time to time, like everybody else, whether you're ABC or you are WS Radio Networks. It will happen from time to time.
Yeah.
So how does that feel, Paul?
That was a great compliment. Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of Santana and listening to Santana when I was getting into guitar. Just like I wore this tape out back in college, just playing it every day over and over along to it, trying to get all those riffs. So I probably got some of my flavor from that. So that was great. And what you guys were talking about the role of percussion in a track, not only to the listener, when you pull it in or out of the final mix, that makes a difference, but it makes a huge difference to a musician when you're in there playing. Florentino, playing with me for a while, that depending on what's going on rhythmically, like I completely shift gears. Like
not just shift gears, you shift my mentalities. I look in your face and you'll have that Russian scowl. Like I'm going to hit this guy with a guitar if he's not playing fast enough or slow enough or whatever.
Right. So the feel of it makes a huge difference, and when you have that extra layer with percussion and rhythm in addition to just the backbeat of the drummer, that gives the everybody in the band is going to give them an extra kind of boost and a more solid foundation to play on.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a testament. I think Jackie is reconnecting with the system over there. But we actually only have about a few minutes left on this segment, or a few seconds left on this segment. So I want to kind of also give a shout out to all the team members that we have here with Tracy and with Beth and John. Obviously, you, Paul, you guys have been an amazing part of this crew. We've got new players coming on, Rodney, and just an incredible set of different players. Obviously, and then just the general WS Radio staff. This is only the staff that's powering all of our music programs. But I want to give a kudos and thanks to all you folks, and it's been an amazing time here this will ride, and we've got some good announcements coming up next week. This has been the Changing Stage radio show powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio, and this has been Jackie Bertone Takeover. Stay tuned for next week. We are going to be going live with Jackie from his house, and we got some great things happening that day.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.